I want you to imagine yourself in the shoes of someone whose life story intersects with nearly every concept we've discussed in Unit 1. You're 17 years old, living in a mid-sized city. Your parents both work long hours. They care about you, but supervision is inconsistent. Money has always been tight, and lately, bills have been piling up. You've been feeling the strain, watching friends on social media post about new clothes, trips, and opportunities you can't afford. At school, grades have been slipping. You used to enjoy class, but lately, it feels pointless. You've started spending more time with a group of friends who hang out after school in the park. One afternoon, one of them offers you a joint. You remember seeing marijuana portrayed as harmless fun in music videos and hearing others talk about it as just a way to relax. You're curious, and you're tired of feeling stressed. This is experimental use. The second point on the continuum of substance involvement. It's not a habit yet, but a few weeks later, you find yourself looking forward to those afternoons in the park. You start to associate the location and the people with the feeling you get after using. That's classical conditioning at work. Soon, you're using marijuana not just in social settings, but on days when you feel especially anxious or down. That's circumstantial situational use, turning to a substance to cope with a particular mood or situation. Operant conditioning comes into play here too. The relief you feel after smoking reinforces the behavior, making you more likely to do it again. But there are changes you don't notice right away. You've started skipping homework. Your part-time job hours are cut because you're late too often. Your parents, already stressed, start fighting more at home. You feel more disconnected from them. Your bonds to conventional institutions like family and school are weakening, just as social control theory predicts. One day, a classmate sees you in the park and tells a teacher. Word spreads quickly, and now you're labeled the stoner. That's labeling theory in action. Teachers watch you more closely, expecting trouble. Friends who don't use drugs stop inviting you out. You feel pushed further into your drug-using peer group, where the behavior is accepted, even encouraged. A few months later, you're offered pills at a party. You know they're not prescribed to you, but in that moment, it doesn't seem like a big deal. You take them. The effect is strong, and it's another step toward intensified use. At this point, your story could go in several directions. You might eventually age out of heavy use, especially if you reconnect with school or work. Or you might slide into compulsive use, where the drug becomes the center of your life. The path depends on many factors: family support, opportunities, coping skills, and whether you encounter prevention, treatment, or punitive legal responses. From the outside, someone might judge this entire trajectory as simply bad choices. But through the lens of the theories we've studied, operant and classical conditioning, strain theory, social control, labeling, the story looks different. It's about how personal vulnerabilities, learned behaviors, social context, and cultural messages combine to influence drug use. This is why understanding the science and sociology of substance use matters. Without it, we see only the surface, and our responses, whether as professionals or as members of a community, risk being ineffective or even harmful. With it, we can see the whole person, the patterns, and the possibilities for change. That's the perspective you'll need throughout this course, balancing empathy with evidence and looking beyond labels to the complex realities of drug use. Welcome again to PSY 307. Let's keep going.